on YouTube. So I was thinking this morning and it hit me. I don't know why it seemed like it hit me, but the conversation that we have about DMP, right? Definite major purpose. You know what's really true is that a definite major purpose is the strategy. Now, I know we talk about being in state, getting yourself, getting your vibration right. I had a conversation with a brilliant woman over the weekend and some things going on, and just reminded her of something that changes her state. And instantly you could feel the shift in the text, and it was pretty cool. So we've got definite major purpose, and that is to get you into state. Well, the reason we wander off of our definite major purpose is because we don't have our DMS, our definite major signal. We talk about it. We talk about doing our gratitudes. We talk about getting ourselves in state. We talk about doing our intentions. All of that still requires our definite major signal. And this is our authentic self. So how do we get to that? How do we undo that? So that's the thing I'm going to be walking you through, is how do you acquire your definite major signal? How do you uncover? How do you chippy away everything that's not your DMS? If you think about that, you can have a definite major purpose. It's in your writing, it's in your journaling, it's in your uncovering, it's in your dialoguing, it's in your being challenged, being questioned, because your old story doesn't work for you. And your old story is not your old story if it was your new story, right? So the question then becomes, how do you operate? How do you vibrate in your newest story? How do you vibrate in this? I'm at the welcome page. Where do I go now? You click on the thing that says morning button. Do you want to continue live activities in the Zoom? So yes, Jane, what you would do is you click on it where it says I think it's a red box, the welcome call in the morning, or maybe it's blue. I forget. I changed it a couple of times. So you would go there.
Blue.
Blue. It's the blue box, and you click on the top left-hand blue box, morning call, and you should be in there. So this idea of signal, this is what is everything. How do we know an oak tree is an oak tree? How do we know a tomato is a tomato? Right? It has its physicalness. It has its shape. It has its color. It's what it is. Now, Mason had, as a good example, Mason had bought some Roma tomatoes to make some, what were we going to make? I guess we were going to make some caprese, right? Tomato, basil, and mozzarella, the big slices, and put the slices of tomato on top. Well, I cut it looked like a tomato. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt them, and I'm like, ooh, these seem a little thick, a little cardboardy. And as soon as I cut one and tasted it, it was awful, awful, awful. So it had all of the right properties. It didn't have the right signal. It didn't have the right essence. Did it qualify as a tomato? Oh, heck yeah. Did it qualify as a Roma tomato? Sure, it looked just like it. Did it taste like any kind of tomato? Not a chance. So what does your activities taste like, feel like? This is Wallace D. Wattles. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And it really comes down to your signal. So what is your signal? What is the signal you're putting out right now? Is it confidence? If somebody were to take a Polaroid of you, a digital picture of you right now, what would it look like? Now, there's a thing called chromatography, I think, where it takes your energy and then you can literally take a picture of somebody's aura, and you can see the frequencies around and whether the energy is broken. All right. So what's your signal right now? Is it one of concern, frustration, aggravation, agitation, joy, happiness, peace, love? You know, some of you should know this. Some of you may remember this. How many emotions have we been able to track? Not us, you and me, psychology. How many emotions have they been able to track, to identify? Anybody want to type it in the chat or say it out loud? Anybody remember? It's a big number. Yeah. 35,000. Yes, we're talking about signal. Jane, have you popped over into the new room? Let's see if you're here. Yep, there you are. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna end this over here. Say goodbye to this. I don't even know how to cancel it now. Hang on. Oh, let's get out of there. Oh, and up here. Bye, OVO. Okay. Now we'll be coming here. So habit, right? We've been going there for a year. New habit, come here. And I will do my best again to remind everybody tomorrow to put it in the chats and stuff. So when we talk about our signal, when we talk about the signal that we have, this is how we control everything. You know, when you meet your spouse or your significant other or one of your kids, do you let me ask you this, for anybody who's ever had children, do you think kids have signals? And for those of you that haven't had kids or have ever been around nieces or nephews or little kids, do you think kids have a signal? Drop an S in the chat. So if kids have signals, because you can tell, right? Babies can't talk. And signal is how we actually live in life. And the question then becomes, what's your signal when you go through today? So what would it be if you had, do you think it might be easier if you had your definite major signal as opposed to your definite major purpose? Because if we have our definite major purpose, can we crush our own signal? Can we create a purpose that is so focused on what other people have told us we should be doing, we're not operating in our signal? How many of us, listen, I'll tell you this one. I stayed in a relationship for 3 years too long because I couldn't follow my signal. I stayed in a relationship 3 years too long. Now it was the perfect amount. The perfect amount. Why? Because I met Michelle. I might not have met Michelle. Truly, everything happens for a reason. Would I do it all over again to meet Michelle? Absolutely. The question then becomes, what is your signal? Your definite major signal. What should your signal be? Should it be loud? Should it be quiet? Should it be internal? Should it be external? I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm asking you to figure out if you've ever asked yourself these questions. If they say clothes make the man and shoes make the woman, isn't that signal? I understand. I finally understand the signal that shoes create. Guys were typically brown loafers, black loafers. Brown is the new black. I don't know what the new saying is, but brown is the new black. That was a couple of years ago when I used to get dressed up regularly going to work. This idea that you can put on a pair of shoes and change your state, I know what that feels like. I have dozens of pairs of shoes that are pretty cool shoes. I like them. They've worn on special occasions. If you have anything you wear on a special occasion, that creates your signal, doesn't it? So what's the special occasion? So here's the reality. Here's the poverty of life. We only do special things when it's a special time. Aren't you special? Aren't you a miracle? What happens if you start to live your life from a place? Jewelry is amazing. I have a couple of pieces, right, of jewelry. I don't wear my wedding ring now because on the farm it can get hooked on fencing or different things, or on the tractor when I'm working. So that's the only reason why I don't have the ring on. so it doesn't rip my finger off or I lose it. That would be that'd be even more, more devastating than losing my finger. I think. That's how guys think. So this signal, when they say dogs can smell fear, dogs can smell signal. Your signal is what is, it's the untangible, right? It's the untouchable. You can't really put your finger on signal, but boy, your signal is on every finger on your hand. So this is what meditation does. This is what morning intention does. This is what writing out your gratitude does. It's designed to get you to activate your signal. And it seems difficult to stay in signal, which is why when you ask me and you all kind of giggle, I already know how you are, which means you know how my signal is. I'm going to ask you anyway. So, Sean, how are you? Outstanding. And you'll even hear that said different ways. Usually the trigger for me is when somebody asks me, I get to evaluate my current signal. So what would be your DMS? You got your DMP, your definite major purpose. You want to create this income. You want to create that income. You want to create that result. You want to be at this body weight. By the way, I woke up this morning. My DMP for my wellness is to get my A1C down to 6.5. That for me would be a great number. Well, this morning it was at 6.0. My A1C when I woke up, because I would have what's known as overnight syndrome or something. The medical professional calls it, that my liver does something. My liver dumps glucose or does something, and I would normally be my overnight. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you, it would be 180, 190, 210 in the morning. This morning it was 104. And I'm not starving. And my weight is 207. So I really said, okay, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I tell you this to say, this has all happened in 30 days. I went from a 7.4 down to a 6.9 to a 6.0. I went to the 6.0. Now, maybe that's too much. And somebody, probably my wellness mentors who are here, will go, that's a little much too fast. No, it's been constantly dropping. Not, I went from this to that, because I don't have headaches. I don't have all of the indicators. But this morning I woke up and I'm like, well, I feel good. I'm pretty good. I'm curious. I hope it's under 130. 130 and below would be awesome. 104. Now it's been down in the 110s, 111s. This is the lowest it's ever been in the morning. Why do I say that? Because I made a decision. Didn't have to go out and post it on social media. Now it's all internal. I don't get paid to do that, but you know what? I would pay anything to have an extra day with my grandkids when they show up. And maybe this will help me have that extra day or extra year or extra decade. So there's a price you're going to have to pay. And Tony Robbins said it best. What you practice in private, you will be rewarded for in public. Do you write out your goals? Do you challenge yourself in getting better at you? See, because if you're trying to get better to make them better, to get them to have more, to get them to do more, that's not going to work. That's called stress. If you're in a position to where your leadership is designed to influence others, if your leadership is designed to influence others and you are out of whack, you are out of signal, you're going to have stress. You're going to have repetition. You're going to have to replace. You're going to have to keep feeding the monster. And what I mean by keep feeding the monster, your signal is eating up your joy. Yes or yes? Drop a J in the chat if your signal eats up your joy. See, the signal, when you're not in signal, it eats up your joy. You have to have something externally to activate your joy. You got to have a friend call you, somebody hug you, somebody tell you how important you are, go to the beach, get on a boat, go tubing. You got to have something externally. You got to create a memory for your signal to come alive And then your old signal, which is your temporary on hold signal till you get back to your environment, you wind up back in stress. You wind up back in frustration. You wind up back in need. You can have your definite major purpose. I want to create $150,000. Awesome. Simple. Done. What would it take? Well, I got to do this, 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 and this. Awesome. Great. Now you got the plan. What's keeping you from doing it? What's keeping you from being consistent? What's keeping you from showing up? Your signal, not your definite major purpose, not your action steps. Your signal is keeping you from showing up. Does that make sense? So how do I find my signal? You have to decide what station you're going to tune to. Right now, you got 1,000 signals going on. How do I know? Well, I'm going to take a wild guess. When you operate with your significant other, you have a signal. When you operate with your kids, you have a signal. When you operate with each child, you have a signal. That's exhausting. Well, but Sean, how do my spouse, Michelle, is different than Mason. How am I, what do you mean same signal? Hey, Dubby. I got a signal with Dubby. Really? I don't have a Dubby signal. I have a Sean signal that I've been able to make sure fits into Dubby's language. My signal is my signal. What? You want to say hi, Heather? Hi, Heather. And Dubby's got a signal. He makes you giggle. Or not. So the point is, I don't know if he's not gotten any lighter, Silka. So when you come in October, if you come, you may want to do some leg work so that when he lays on your legs, he doesn't make your legs go numb. So what is your true signal? What is your true signal? And the challenge is for some of us, when you operate from your true signal, those who are around you picking up your signal are going to get a little ticked off. They're going to get a little bit frustrated because you were operating based on their signal, not based on yours. This is where people say, right? You've heard me use this expression, or you've heard this expression. Have you lost your mind? Let's change that. What? Tell me, W. What? What? Have you lost your signal? If you ever ask somebody, have you lost your mind? What you're really asking them is, have you lost your signal? Now, there's two ways to ask that question. When children get frustrated or aggravated, or they have their first breakup, anybody go through a child with their first breakup? Some of you probably did, right? And I can only imagine it might be, I don't know, somebody would have to tell me this. It would be significantly more emotional for girls than it is for boys. I think. I know it's challenging. I'm not saying it's any less emotional. I'm just talking about the outbounded appearance of it. They lost their signal. If you've ever lost a pet, you've lost your signal. And that's big. That's huge. So when we try to go find our own signal, when we try to go chippy away what's not our signal, it's literally a funeral. It literally is a funeral. Something is going to pass. So that was my conversation for you this morning on understanding the power of signal, DMS. What would be your DMS? That's work on your values. Is it honesty? Is it truth? Is it clarity? And this isn't for the outbound signal. This is for you to operate in signal. So if truth is one of the values you want in your life, how truthful are you to you? If you want to wake up at 5 a.m., do you wake up at 5 a.m. every day? If you want to hydrate yourself, do you hydrate? If you want to work out, do you work out? Can you create a DMS the reason, again, definite major purpose, strategy. Get white hot burning desire, signal. Chapter 1 in Think and Grow Rich is signal. Signal, right? Chapter 1, desire. Signal, that's signal. How do you connect to your definite major purpose? How do you connect to that goal? And it's the only thing keeping you from getting to that goal is the vibrational state, period. We heard AJ talk about walking up on stage with his mentor, the guy that was teaching him 5 years later, walked up and he said, "Your name's Alex?" "Yeah." "Signal." He said, "Okay, I know your signal. I recognize and there's a name to your signal. The name is Alex." And then Alex presented his signal with confidence. When most people get on stage, they are not confident on stage because they're like, I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so nervous. I don't like to speak in front of people. So now the question is, Alex, can you be on stage and be one camera? You realize there's people who would pay to learn what you know, what you've experienced, right? People are going to pay you for the experience you couldn't buy, but you paid for. That's what people pay me for, is the experience. You can't buy my experience. You can't buy it because I already paid for it. I already paid the bill. What you're paying me for, what you're showing up here for, is to say, I don't want to fail like that. I don't want to feel like that. So there you go. Good morning, AJ. I see your hands up, brother. Hey, thanks everybody for showing up here. Remember, this is where we go. Habit will make you go to the other. Oh, nobody's here. It's the other place. So save this somewhere. I put it in most of your texts. I'll send out some more texts as well after this. Good morning, AJ.
Who's Alex? Man, who's that guy?
Yeah, who's that guy?
It is what it is, I guess. I just want to say that I'm super happy that you are rocking your Serbian t-shirt in this time of change
That's right.
and transformation. So that's great. What I wanted to share is talking about Signal. So after the event, after we spoke on Saturday, we went out there.
Hang
We
on a
had
second. Something just popped in. Hang on a second.
okay.
You know what you're talking about, right? You got it
Oh
clear?
yeah, sure,
Okay, good,
sure.
good, good. In trading, don't we watch for signals? Do they use the term signal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious. And so, yeah, you can make profit even when it goes, you can make profit in any direction, which means if you know how to read the signal, you can make profit in any direction. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
As long as there's volatility in the market, you don't really care about the
Oh,
direction where
so
it's
you
going.
need volatility to make profit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. So most people want to sit on their ass and not have anything happen. And they're like, I don't know why nothing's happening. Well, because you're being stagnant. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's never gonna work out in trading if you have a market that's being well, we use the term ranging or consolidating.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing really good is gonna come out of there. So
Okay.
um anyhow, I wanted to share a moment that I got the opportunity to have with my friend and his lady on Saturday. So we went to Hard Rock Cafe. They've never been in one. I
Oh,
love Hard Rock Cafe. I mean, I love it. Um, they do have one in Bucharest. Didn't even know this, but they do apparently. And we went out there, had some drinks, and we started talking. And they said, "Well, you mentioned, because I did say this up front. I said that after the event on Saturday, I'm gonna have a conversation with them. I'm gonna show them some ideas that can really change their life if they choose to accept them, right?"
mhm.
And I kind of got to play you for a couple of hours. So that was very interesting. And we started talking, and they said, "Well, what did you want to say?" So I started talking, and I told them all about the game, all about the signal, and so on and so forth. And I saw that they couldn't really understand what I was trying to say.
Hmm.
And then I said, okay, well, let's make this reactive because I know that you say all the time it's not only about being a monologue. It does really need to be a dialogue where they need to speak more.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, so let's do two exercises, right?
Yep.
So I kind of set the stage with the statement of that everything starts from the mind. I mean, every single thing starts from the mind, and it's absolute. And they were like, what? And I said, well, here's an exercise. Don't think about the red elephant. And they were like, what? And I said, what did you think about? They said, obvious, the red elephant. So I said, well, this goes to show that the brain doesn't understand negative. It doesn't understand no. It only understands something as it is. That's number one. And then number two, let me guide you through an exercise that 5 years ago changed my life forever that I've done with my mentor. And they said, what is it? I said, okay, so um, think of a moment that you were at your purest form of happiness. I mean, you were just exploding from excitement. Think about it for a couple of minutes and just try to relive the picture again. And they're like, okay. So they started thinking, and about 2 minutes and I cut them off. I'm like, do you have the picture? And they're like, yeah. And I said, first and foremost, do you have any kind of emotional response? Are you getting happy? Or are you getting excited about it again? Or, what's going on? And secondly, the more you think about it, does the picture get clearer and clearer? And they said yes and yes. And I said, this goes to show and prove my other point, which is that it does really start from the mind. So I asked them, well, how long ago were these events? And she said 3 years ago. He said 2 years ago. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that right now we're sitting in Bucharest in a coffee shop, we're having a cocktails or whatever, and in a split of a second, you're able to go back years and relive a moment of your life,
Hmm.
and still now today, after 2 and 3 years, have some kind of emotional response. And they said, yeah. And I said, this is what I'm talking about. So once you start visualizing your life and how you want it to be and so on and so forth, this is how it comes into fruition. This is how it actually shows up in real life. And they were like, whoa. They're looking at me like I just split the sea like I was Moses, right? And then I said, I'm gonna do you one better. And then I started telling them about what you and I talk about all the time, which is playing the game with people. And they're like, okay. And I told them, well, you see all these little observations, right? And I asked her because she's his lady. I asked her, when I greet you, despite the fact that he's my friend and we know each other for a decade, when I greet you, do I hug you and give you smooches, or what do I do? I hug you with one hand. I only hug you with one hand from one side. When I greet his parents, I always have a thing. I have a thing with his dad. I have a thing with his mom, right? His mom has some kind of eye pressure issues. I always ask them, hey, how are the microscopes? And she's like, oh, they're great, whatever. Then his dad is a huge soccer fan, so I'm always like, hey, what's up on TV? What's going on? And then I told him, you you notice how these small little things they accumulate and they compound because, for example, if his mother had a real bad day since she has eye issues, right? And I come out there and I visit them because I go to their house all the time, and I do this simple little joke. It's innocent, it's nothing crazy, and she smiles and then she engages in a conversation, right? I know that even for a couple of minutes, maybe, or maybe an hour. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but at least for a couple of minutes minimum, I changed her day just by asking her a silly question, you know. So all of these little things, how you talk, how you walk, how you address people, how you pay attention to these little details. Because I told them, that the devil is in the details, right? And they said, yeah. And I said, but nobody thinks about this. And they said, no, they don't. And then I said, I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna turn the table over to you because you did the same thing. They're like, what? And I said, how many people do you know that have a journal? And they said zero. And I said, okay, well, I mean, apart from me. I was like, okay. With that being said, how many people do you know that are our age? Because both of them are my age. How many people do you know that are our age and have the results I have? And they said, none, apart from you. And I said, and then let me put the ball in your court, because who do you know in your surroundings that took a trip? You had, they had, by the way, their first airplane flight ever with me this weekend, so I kind of took their V card there, and and we are going out there in the airport and so on. So I was like, okay, so who do you know that takes a trip by plane, flies to another country to attend a business conference slash seminar, sense whatever, comes back home and has some really good ideas that start popping up? And they said zero, and I said, no, 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 no. You know each other, so now it's one. It's not zero anymore. So I want you to understand that what you did this weekend is huge and can really, really change your life if you choose to do that. So that was great. That was a really good moment. And then fast forward this morning, I sent the guy a message because I know you always talk about sending thank you messages and whatnot. And I hate doing that. And I said to this guy, I was like, I'm gonna simultaneously translate, right? I said, I hope you start thinking about some stuff from this weekend. It can really change your life. Good luck. And he said, I did. I'm planning on changing a lot of things. It's going to be hard to now pay attention to this, man. This is huge. He said, I did. I'm planning on doing a lot of stuff in my, a lot of changing in my life. It's going to be hard removing and replacing some old habits, but I'm going to make it. I want to do my best. And I really want to enter the 1% club, because they hear me always joking about a welcome to the 1% club. And he says, I'm sure I'm going to make it happen. Thank you for everything you've done so far. Thank you for being there for us and explaining everything that's not clear to us. Thank you for, how should I put this in English? Thank you for your support and blowing our horn from time to time, because we now listen to that, and this for everybody. This guy says thank you for supporting us, because we don't usually have it, because people in our surroundings don't do that. And then he says, we are fully aware that we owe you for life, and we're going to try to make it up to you, at least in pieces. Now, I made a joke. I'm not going to do it, not going to read that. And then I said, you can pay me off by succeeding in your own life. And he said, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was very interesting. Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That makes me very, I'm gonna say I want to say what Heather pointed out some weeks, months ago now, about being proud. This is I'm really doing this proud. It's really fulfilling. It's really wholesome. It's really good.
Is that a good thing?
Oh yeah.
What would be the opposite of it?
I mean, what's good? I don't know. Curious to find out.
Right. Being
It's
mad, frustrated, aggravated.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Does that exist? Mad, frustrated, aggravated? Does it exist in this moment?
Yes, sir.
So when your friends are frustrated, aggravated, and mad, doesn't joy exist in that moment too?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't a chance to be proud exist in that moment too?
Yes, sir.
At some point, at every moment, they have to realize that everything is a choice. And you are not responsible for their choices. Your job, should you choose to accept it, and it seems like you have, is to do your best to offer them an insight that says everything's pretty good. What's the good in this moment? Because it's rare to find somebody who's always in a good moment. What's the good in this moment? The good is it could have been worse. Right? There's always good. And there's always sadness. There's always happiness or joy. Happiness, joy or misery. That's the only two things that exist. And both is our determination. I could be sitting in the same room where you hear information and I hear information. You're mad, I'm happy. It's how is it the same information? It's our signal. So in the beginning, you have to guide people. You have to be the snowplow that pushes them in the right direction. At some point, they got to realize they need to be driving their own snowplow, their own truck. And the challenge is most people don't want to drive their own truck. Why? Because they wind up having to take on their own responsibility.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the freedom. Everybody wants the freedom. Few are going to spend the hours you've spent to learn what you've learned. Here's a real question. When you show up with questions to me, is there a good chance we might have a dialogue that'll come up with a solution that's something maybe neither of us were aware of before?
Oh, knowing you, that's going to happen 100% of the time.
Okay. So if that's the case, then your job is to show up with offer them a solution that they've never heard before. You may have heard it 1,000 times. They can't use your next solution. They can only use their next solution. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if as you have conversations with people and more people are going to ask you to mentor them, you have to, and there's a part of us that says, I would love to mentor you. I went through this. Maybe you won't. Maybe you're smarter than me. Qualify them. Clarify, qualify, create. What do you think mentoring? It's easy to be a mentor. What do you think mentoring looks like for you? Well, I want somebody to hold me accountable. To do what? To do blah, 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 blah. Well, and what would be the benefit of that? Well, this, that, or the other. Okay. If you had a choice to do that, how would that make you feel on Tuesday if you did it? Great. How would it make you feel if you didn't do it? Bad. Okay, we just had our first mentoring. Go do it on Tuesday. Come back and let me know how it worked out. Your job is not to have any effort in their effort. You're not responsible for them. You're responsible to them. Okay, cool. So when do you think you'd want to get that done by? Well, I'd like to get it done by Tuesday. Great. Let's have a conversation on Wednesday and let me know how it worked out. What you want me to do is if Tuesday didn't go well, you want to make sure Wednesday isn't a hell on earth. My mentor taught me, hey, so what 2 things would you like to do between now and Tuesday? What 2 action steps do you think you could do between now and Tuesday to make that happen? Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, when you do, let me know, because otherwise Tuesday, I don't know, Tuesday of this year or Tuesday of next year. Your job is to start to learn the language that forces them into ownership of their own results. Tell me what to do. I can't tell you what to do. You got to tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Well, if you did know, what would you do? I'd offer you a suggestion. Maybe you do this, 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 and this. Out of those things, which one do you feel most comfortable doing? And this is for everybody. This is for anybody dialoguing. Them joining your business, them getting healthy in your wellness practice, them learning how to shear sheep, do what? It doesn't matter. What do you want to do? What do you want to get done? Great. What's the next step you would do? I don't know. If you did know, what would you do? If you had to take a wild guess at it, what do you think you might do? Hey, Molly, good morning, my love. You're getting so big. I know, Dubby. What? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. It's real interesting to me.
Isn't it? And so now we can talk. This is what I talk about with Kyle Wilson. He says, I want to talk with you because I can talk shop. We can talk shop on this because you're going through the experience right now.
It's funny to me I really do hope, with 100% of my being, I really do hope that the same thing happens to folks listening to this conversation. For me, I became aware that every time I actually get in the signal or state, right, and be there for just a bit longer than usual. So I, but just for a small period of time, uh, more than usual,
Hmm.
funny things start happening, man. All of a sudden, people
Really?
call me up. I gotta think, can we, do a cash out? Can we do this trade? Can we do this? Can we do that? All of a sudden, some people holla at me. I got a friend. I haven't heard from him in like 3 years. Last night when I posted pictures from the Romania event, he was like, "Hey, you still do that stuff?" I'm like, yes, sir." He was like, "Are you gonna trade for me?" And I'm like, listen, there's me being an employee, that's probably in the past tense. However, I think we can maybe sit down and figure some stuff out." Like, he was like, "Okay," and so there's all these things happening, um, that are so effortless. Just how you pointed out, they're so effortless that it's just, I'm like, duh, you idiot. It's like it was there this whole time. You
Was it
flipping
really?
idiot. Yeah. So that's very funny. So I want to thank you for putting me through the work of
And
understanding that.
here's the neat thing, and what you'll find is that, and all of you will experience this, is that the solution has always been there. It took no effort for this to show up. It took you being in your signal. And it's a lot easier for us to be in signal when we're in service. The challenge is too many people get into service and their signal is sacrifice. It's not success. That's joy and misery. Joy is success, misery is sacrifice. We serve to sacrifice. Well, I got to pay my price. I think you've already paid your price. I think we've all paid our price. Yeah, you got to pay your price. I think we've all paid it, though. We don't have to keep paying it. I think you're paid up. I literally think every one of you is paid up. There's no more sacrifice needed. There's no more punishment needed. There's no more payment needed. And this is what's called karma. I think every one of you, I know pretty much all of you, and I know a lot of your stories. I think you've all paid up. I think you're paid in full for the next 5 lifetimes. It's that we can't move from our signal from sacrifice to success. Because if we do, then uh, people are going to get mad that I'm not serving them. You just chose to serve them in another way. They all can still use your service. Right? The guy that called you said, "You're going to trade for me?" Well, I don't do employee trading. I do concierge trading. That's a monthly fee, no matter which way the trades go. So yes, we can engage in conversations and in services. It's called concierge trading. It's 5,000 a month. That's just the fee for your education. I'd be what I would say. Absolutely. I'd be happy to discuss a concierge trading relationship. It's a retainer fee. Good attorneys, right? Good attorneys get a retainer fee, whether you use them or not. Good traders should get more than good attorneys. I don't ever want to use my attorney. I got them on retainer, though. Why? So when I pick up the phone call, they answer it. Create a concierge training relationship. It's $5,000. Imagine if you had 5 people who want you to trade for them. It's 20 grand just for your experience. Just a thought. That's where my brain goes. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. Would you learn? Would you like? Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Selka.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Outstanding.
Gee, even on a new platform.
Yep.
You're much louder actually on this platform.
Really?
Yes. This
Okay.
is the first time I had to turn down my volume.
Wow.
So I'm still struggling with the signal because the signal seems to change depending on who I'm speaking to.
Yep.
But I don't know, sometimes it appears to be that maybe my signal is off with some of the people I speak to. So how can I fix that?
So
Or maybe it's not my signal, maybe it's theirs, but I
it
don't
could
know.
be theirs. It could be theirs. So one of the things I do is to bring people's the novelty, to bring them to the moment. Is I'll say, hey, listen, I'm working through some things right now. So if I sound off, you won't be mad at me, right? Oh, no. And what happens is the force law of reciprocity, they instantly attune their signal to pay attention to their signal, to if they're off, if they're mean or frustrated or needy, right? There's some people who have a needy signal. You're like, I don't even want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. They have a needy signal, right? So I always, if you can set the stage, Bill Gove, the father of public speaking, would go on stage sometimes. He said, hey, listen, they just asked me to come to this event here. I really haven't had a chance to bone up on it. So if you hear some ums and some ahs, I hope you'll be okay with that. Would you be okay with that? And everybody's like, oh, hell yeah, no problem, no problem. And he never says an or an ah. But what you force people to do is to bring their attention to the moment and to give permission that it's okay for you to be off. And now what they're doing is how do I be of service to you who's off? This is kind of like neurolinguistic programming. You're really programming them to pay attention to you. Hey, listen, before we get started, if I sound off, I've had some things going on. So will you cut me some slack? Because maybe I might sound like I don't know, agitated or fresh. I hope not. But I'm asking for for some grace. Oh yeah, no. Okay, no, I got you. And now all of a sudden they go into service mode. How do I serve you with grace? So you can literally force the conversation to follow your signal. Now that's manipulating only if you're going to do it in a way that can serve them as well, that brings them value. This is where people have buyer's remorse. You ever been around somebody who sells you something? You're like, son of a, this is awesome. And by the time you get to the car, you're like, what the hell did I do? What did I do? Right? Like buying a condo, buying a timeshare, right? There was whole businesses of how to get out of your timeshare because people couldn't sell their timeshare.
Yeah, that's definitely terrible. But so how? But okay, so let me back up. When
Yep.
you're giving this example,
Yep.
what is the signal that people buy this stuff when they don't need it, they can't afford it, and how does the person connect with them on I guess it has to be an emotional level, but how? I mean, it's bizarre that you would buy something that's so expensive and you're not needing, you're walking out and saying I shouldn't have bought it.
Right.
But there must have been a moment that the person that was connecting the person that was selling it to them
Yep. Well,
got
there's a
got
couple of things. Years ago,
yes.
buying a car, if a guy went to go buy a car and he said, well, we always have this, I need to check with my wife. They'd say a phrase, oh, don't you wear the pants in the family? You're damn right I wear the pants, and they'd buy it. And then they go home and get in trouble.
Yes, yeah, well, well,
Right?
and that is very true. I mean, it's just an excuse. I mean, why would you have to check with your wife? I
Well,
don't know.
again, it's a variety of things. So here's the thing to pay attention to is so many people have been sold to, this is key, the language is key here, have been sold to that they know how to not be sold. What nobody knows how to do is not buy. So this is where the phrase, people love to buy, they hate to be sold to, they love to buy. So what are they buying? Nobody, if I bought this Yeti thing, this jug, whatever it is, half-gallon jug, a Bubba, right? It's called a Bubba, right? I don't even.
Oh my God.
Right? So it's called Bubba, and it's to keep my water cold. I didn't buy it because I liked Bubba. I bought it because I wanted the thing it'll give me.
Right.
So when people buy, they're never buying the thing. They're buying what the thing can turn into. So when I buy silverware, I don't buy silverware to buy silver. I buy silverware to have fancy forks.
Well, it probably has no silver in it.
Right.
It's just called silver.
Right. So when I buy a car to get from point A to point B. I don't know. Maybe there'll be one day where I'll have a Lamborghini, but I'll have to have a different driveway because you couldn't drive it on my driveway because it's too, right? So there's all of these things. It's never the thing we buy. It's the way the thing we buy makes us feel. So how can I get, this is when I came up with the understanding of people want to be able to brag. If you have something to sell, transference of enthusiasm, what is the signal they get? What is the signal they are going to buy that allows them to brag after the purchase? That's it. That's sales. It's 1,000 years of sales in 2 sentences. You have something to sell. Sales is transference of enthusiasm. What is your signal to get them enthusiastic to buy that they will brag after the purchase? Oh, they'll brag either way, one way or the other. How do you get them to brag positively and to be able to become a sales force? My daddy always said, everybody you're about to go sell, you're training to be your sales force. How do you train them to be your sales force?
Right. So I guess that's what I'm asking.
So well, what do they want to buy? They don't want to buy your travel program. What do they want to buy? They want to buy the places the travel program can take them.
Yes, and they want to have fun.
Yes. So when's the last time they had fun?
That would be a good question to ask them, right?
So, and then the next question is when would you like to have, when on your calendar would you like to have fun again? So this is that 12 months. In the last 6 months, if we were to look at your calendar in the last 6 months, how many amazing memories how many amazing trips did you have filled with memories and joy and happiness? I mean, lifelong ones, not you went down to Austin and you had some crazy coffee and you went to, well, I mean, I'm talking about trips you planned. Have you had any trips you planned in the last 6 months? Not really. Awesome. I get it. Totally understand. Life happens. Going forward, next 6 months, how many are on your calendar? None. You mean you're going to spend another year of your life and not have a memory? What's keeping you from that? Is it money? Is it time? Is it you don't know what to do? Listen, I'm kind of a travel expert. Where do you want to go? I'll help you get there. I'm not going to do your booking or your hotel reservations. I have a system that does that. But you're going to tell me another year of your life is going to go by and you're not going to have a memory that will live the rest of your life? Does that sound fair? It doesn't sound, if I told you you're going to spend the next year of your life, you're going to spend a year of your life and not be able to have a wonderful vacation, would you be mad at me? Yes, then you should be mad at you. Because I got the solution.
That makes sense.
So that's my signal. I listen, I travel. I go all over the world. I've had passports filled. I know what it's like. Have you ever filled a passport? No. What do you think would happen in your life if you filled a passport? These are questions I would ask. These are the qualifying questions. Well,
I think many people don't even own a passport, so maybe they just need to even think of getting a passport.
Exactly. So hey, listen, how many trips in the next 5 years do you plan on needing a passport for? I don't know. Do you have 5-year goals? Yes. And none of them includes global travel? Sounds like you're cutting yourself short, didn't it?
Yes, I need your brain. So, how do I get that signal?
Well, here's the thing. Take what we've just talked about, and you can work that in 1,000 different ways. Your brain is capable of that. You're genius. Say, I'm a genius. Not me, you. Say, you're a genius.
You're a genius.
No, yeah, meaning you. Say, I'm a genius. Selka's a genius. Say that.
I'm a genius.
You are. So you can take oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Great. So now go think more about that. I put a post on. How many trips, how many memories in your life required a passport? What's your best passport memory?
How many stamps are in your passport?
Exactly. That'd be a cool contest. Whoever has the most stamps, I'll buy them $10 worth of coffee. I'll Venmo you $10 worth of coffee. $10 for your coffee, for your morning coffee. If you
Oh,
get
I have a better idea.
What's that?
You get a coffee date with Sean G. Murphy.
You could do that, sure.
And he'll even deliver it to your house.
Well, as long as they're next door, yes.
He provides amazing service.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. I will be working on that, and I will reach out.
Awesome. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. Love you,
You're
love you,
welcome,
love you.
welcome, welcome. Well, there you go, ladies and germs. There's another wonderful day. And remember, tomorrow we'll be back here. And then when you go to the page, you'll see that there's going to be different links. And for those of you on the mastermind, you will have your own specific link as well. You'll be able to click on that and it'll open up your room. So it'll look just like the other one. Hopefully everything will work accordingly because I'm the one doing all the work and Ria's doing some of the work as well and helping me not get totally lost. So I love you tons. I appreciate you. And thanks for being here. Thanks for working through this morning. And I can't wait to see you. I'll see you all where?
At the next event.
At the next event.
Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us all.
Peace be with us all. The queen of helping you find your new Zoom rooms, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Lee.
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. Little white fluffy.
Gurgly.
Gurgly, gurgly.
All right. And I got to tell you, Molly keeps getting bigger. She keeps getting bigger. Oh my good. She is taller than Seamus now.
No.
Yes. Taller than Seamus. And when she stands up over next to Jameson, because she still plays with him, and she does it very gingerly. Where before she was a puppy playing with him like he's a puppy. Now she knows he's older. And he lets him seem like he takes her to the ground, or she falls down like he's in charge and he's the big man in town. It's the funniest thing, the way she lets him beat her up, and it's like gumming I don't know. It's the funniest thing. So
It's their signals. It's their signals.
Yes. Her signal is she's
Her
real out.
signal.
I don't want him to be hurt because she's bit him. I say bit him. She's nudged him a couple of times and he's yelped out. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So, all right, everybody, go have some fun today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same bat channel.